Hello and welcome to the next edition of H. Paul Models. Done enough World War II stuff, I think, with the Kelly's Hero diorama and the Battle of Britain diorama. So I'm going to visit, well, last time I did one of these I couldn't stop giggling, so I'm going to visit Star Wars and do a snow speeder. So I'm hoping the crew don't look as bad as last time. But anyway, let's give it a go. Let's crack on. Right, before I give it primer, which I'm going to just prime the whole thing, yeah, the crew. Revell have done it again. Oh, it's brilliant. I don't quite know what to say. Anyway, let's get on and build it. So all the parts are now primed, ready to go. So what I'm going to do is separate the parts on the instructions here. There's parts that are black, so I'm going to separate those parts first and give them a coat of 33, and then we'll start assembling, mask, and then do the painting on the main fuselage. I think that's the order to go on this model. Oh crikey, I'm doing some minor sub-assembly before I start painting. I just wanted to point it out that this model has the same amount of flash as a Thunderbolt did and the X-Wing did. It seems to be a Revell trait. Loads and loads of flash. It can be cleaned up, but you know, kid gets bought this for Christmas and it's like, oh, got to take all the flash off first. Just thought I'd point it out. They're good models, it's just it needs a lot of work. I've put together sub-assemblies ready for painting, so whilst the glue's drying I'm looking at the crew. I shouldn't laugh, I'm sorry, but they have the most awful hands I've ever seen. They're just like boxing gloves. How are you supposed to work the controls of a snow speeder with boxing gloves on? So what I'm going to try and do is get my Dremel type tool and just working from the outside, just thin those hands down a bit to make them look a bit more, shall we say, realistic. So I should put some music on because this thing makes a hell of a racket, and see how I get on. Well, after a bit of fettling, they've got thumbs, opposable thumbs. So they come out of the animal kingdom and join the human race, and their arms are a bit thinner, so they look less on their back to go into a boxing match. I daren't do any more plastic, I'll end up snapping arms off, but I think that's a bit more presentable than Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno flying a snow speeder. With the X-Wing, I couldn't find an orange, so I made a carrot cake colour. Well, what I found is if I thin Signal Red down from Humbrol really thin, it comes out orange. So what I'm going to do is very carefully just add thin layers of it to their uniforms and just build up the colour. instructions ask for a stone grey for the exterior of the ship. Well, I'm going to use 129 US Golf Grey satin because I think that looks quite nice. One thing I'm not good at is dry brushing. Well, apart from building models per se. So when I've got these clocks, there's no decals or transfers for them. So I'm going to try and dry brush these. So what I've seen on other videos is you wet your brush with the paint, take most of it off, and then draw it, just rub them over the clocks like that. Oh by gods, I think he's got it. There we go. Yeah, I'll take a photograph of that so you can see it up close. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah. So let's do the other one. So just wet the brush, take the excess off, and just give it a... I think I might have actually cracked it for once. This has always been my Achilles heel, dry brushing. Probably because I've not got the patience. But yeah, that seems to have worked really well. So I'm going to leave that as is now. Cool. Right, I'm fitting Mike and Frank into the cockpit. So they're in their little peg holes. So I'm going to get a bit of Tamiya and just seal the deal with that. Make sure they stay where they're put. And give them a couple of minutes to just dry off. I shouldn't really call them Frank and Mike, but I can't help it. There we go, they're in there. I finished painting them a while ago. I wasn't going to go through that complete process. And now for the clocks, or dashboard, or whatever they call them in the Star Wars world. And so let's cut that off of there. Tidy that up a bit because that looks a bit of a mess. Maybe shorten that bit a little bit. Now I'm guessing that goes in there. Hopefully it will fit between his legs, because all of a sudden I'm a bit worried that might not go in. No, his legs are too close together. Oh, Mike. Oh, I think I've got a bit of fettling to do, so I'll get to filing that very carefully, and then we'll fit it in to the cockpit of the snow speeder. After some fettling and filing, the cockpit's in, so I'll give that a touch of Tamiya. Make sure that stays where it's put as well. Do the pegs underneath. Looks like Frank wants to come out. I'll get t'other one and trim that up, and I've got a sneaky suspicion I might have the same problem again, but let's try it first. Crikey. Oh, I might get away with this one. Hands are massive on these figures. It was one fitting. Oh dear. Let's give that a push home, see if it goes. Oh, it's in. I think it clicked or it snapped, one of the two. Looks like it clicked. Oh, jolly good. Right, let's give that a touch of Tamiya. And there we go. Frank and Mike are in their cockpit. Excellent. Now I'm going to fit the cockpit into the top half of the snowspeeder. I know from experience with the X-Wing that these pegs are not going to fit in this hole. I know from experience, so I'm going to quickly work them with a scalpel just to give them a little bit of clearance, because I know what's going to happen. Just to get a good fit. Right, here we go. Here goes nothing. Get that one on there and that one on there, and then push them home. Oh, I'm glad I did that, because that's oh, that's a lovely fit. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but that dash has come right up to the edge of the cockpit. That's superb. That's really good. So I'm going to lock that in position now with more of the Tamiya quick drying fluid cement stuff, whatever they call it, on there, and a little slip down each side of this as well, just to make sure that stays where it's put. And let that go off. That's a really good fit though. That is very good. Now to fit what I consider to be the engine or anti-gravitational device or whatever, I don't know what they call it in the Star Wars world. So a little bit of glue on there, a little bit of glue on there, offer it up, and it should hopefully fit in there nicely. There we go, it's in. Right, I fitted each of these holes with a small amount of Revell. Now I'm going to try and offer it up and put them together. I don't know how this is going to work. It might be alright and it might not. There we go. I think that's how it's supposed to go. Like that. What I don't want to do is put undue pressure on the crew and then it all goes Pete Tong. Oh. In you go, come on. Oh, that's terrible. That's not good at all, actually. Trying squeezing them together is not good. There we go, that one's through. Oh, that one's through, I think. Not quite. Give it another push. And that one. Oh, crikey. And then that one. There we go. I think that's definitely together now. And that's not going anywhere anytime soon. That's good. Oh, it's looking like a snowspeeder now, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. Well, what I've decided to do is I'm going to paint these sections silver, just to bring the cockpit detail out. Oh, it's metallic, I suppose, really, but I'm just going to very carefully paint this section silver. It might need a couple of coats, but I just want it to stand out a bit from the rest of the cockpit because of those raised circles. It looks really good. So I'm just going to try and add a little bit of, shall we say, off-model description detail. The transfers, decals, stickers, whatever they are well, not very nice. So I'm not going to use them. What I've done is I've masked off the areas where I'm going to add this paint to the speeder. So I've got a dampened brush and I'm just going to very gently paint the detail in. Carrying on with the build, I'm now adding the engine gunny parts, and unfortunately these locating tabs, when I push them into the model, they don't fit. I don't quite know why that is. I don't want to force it, but at the same time it's just not going in, and I don't know if it's me or if it's the mould. I think it's the mould, to be fair. Yeah, it's just, oh crikey. if you can see it or not, there's a huge great gap. So I'm going to have to lose these tabs, I think, which is a shame, but it is where it is. Time to fit the canopy. Again, I had the same problems with the tabs as with these, it wouldn't fit, so I've just cut it flush, edge it up, and it fits a lot better than it did with all the tabs on. So I'm just going to get that in the right position somewhere. There we go. And then tiniest amount of tamia in each of the corners. So I really don't want it bubbling the paint up too much. One bit there. Another bit there. And a tiny bit there. Now with the tow cable gun, I've got a bit of a plan. This could end very badly. But anyway, what I'm thinking about doing is, I've got some 5 amp fuse wire. Only a short length like that, and with a little bit of super glue I'm going to try and replicate the tow cable. So if I get one of my disposable lids, wherever they've gone, oh dear, not doing very well here. That'll do, a bit of tracing paper. So put a bit of super glue on there like that with a cocktail stick. I'm going to dab it there, like that. Grab this fuse wire and stick that in there like that. And wait until that goes off. Now the super glue's gone off, get another bit and just run it along the bottom bit here. Like that, very carefully. And then what I'm going to try and do is loop that around. Hopefully it won't snap off the gun. If I just, oh dear, if I just do that, no, don't break off. It's going to break off. No. Chances are the extra super glue I've added has made it go off, which is a shame. Another pair of tweezers. Oh. Best laid plans of mice and men. So I can just hold that in place like that, and then loop that round and then stick that there like that. Move my tweezers along. Oh, no. Position that again. In my tweezers along and clamp that again. And then bring it back down. And then do that again. Like that. Oh, and then press down on that again, and then bring that back round, and then what I want to do is put it up onto the end of the gun like that. I'm going to cut that off there like that. Cocktail stick, a bit more of the squidgy stuff on the end there, and then glue that in place. We all know in Empire Strikes Back the tow cable thing around the walker's legs was quite fantastic and brilliant, so I wanted to represent that on this model, and that's the best way I could think of doing it. Weathering the snow speeder. So it was on Hoth, an ice planet, so I've got some white weathering that I'm going to use, and all I'm going to do is just catch the very edges of the speeder. So I'm just going to try and get it there. Oh, there's a bit of dirt in that one. Oops. Probably from a previous bout of weathering. Oopsie daisy. Let's clean that off. Right, let's try again. Just a little bit of weather in there. Unfortunately that's gone a bit too dark, but never mind. It is a model, it's not the end of the world. Give that a blow. So it's going to have some dirt on it. Just along the leading edges here, that's all I want to do. Also takes the shine of the gloss varnish off as well. Just like that. I'm going to take the mask off next, and that's with a decent scalpel blade, and just try and lift the corner like that. Pair of tweezers and peel that off. Done. Like that. There's Frank. Let's see if we can find Mike. Just gently peel at that corner. Pull it away. That one there. Come on. Yep, Frank's in there. So's Mike. Jolly good. So I'll get the rest of his mask off. I've done something with the stand because I'm going to put it on a stand. And then we'll do the, well, the gun's got to go on as well. The gun on, stand on, then final reveal. So here we are, my version of the Revell snow speeder that's about to fall off its stand. Oh cripes, that's it, get it safe. Well, despite the flash, ill-fitting parts, the boxing gloves on Mark and, oh bleeding hell, Mike and Frank, that was quite an enjoyable build. I'm still laughing, so it's had to be. So anyway, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you on next episode. Cheers!